Your salary may not be the biggest reason you struggle to save. The real problem could be the small purchases you barely notice. A few convenience items, unnecessary upgrades, cheap replacements, and unused subscriptions can quietly consume hundreds every month. Japanese households often build savings by removing these hidden expenses before they become habits. Stay until the end, because the seventh purchase may already be taking money from your account without you realizing it. 1. Convenience purchases that quietly drain your money. Convenience can make life easier, but it can also become one of the biggest hidden reasons people struggle to save. A delivery fee here, a ready-made meal there, or a small service charge may not seem important at the moment. Because each expense looks small, most people do not stop to calculate how much they are actually spending over an entire month. But when these purchases become part of a daily routine, they can quietly take away a large amount of money. Many Japanese households try to avoid paying extra for convenience when a simple and practical alternative is available. Instead of ordering food several times a week, they may prepare basic meals at home. Instead of buying expensive pre-cut fruit and vegetables, they may purchase whole ingredients and prepare them themselves. Instead of paying for small tasks that can be completed in a few minutes, they often choose to do those tasks personally. The goal is not to reject every form of convenience. It is to understand when convenience is truly helpful and when it is simply an unnecessary expense. For example, buying one ready-made meal after a long and exhausting day may be reasonable. The problem begins when it becomes an automatic habit. When people repeatedly choose the easiest option without thinking, they often pay more for less food, smaller portions, and lower value. The same is true for coffee deliveries, express shipping, bottled drinks, pre-packaged snacks, and other products that cost more simply because they save a few minutes. These small charges are especially dangerous because they do not feel like major purchases. Most people carefully consider buying an expensive phone or a new appliance, but they rarely think deeply about spending a few extra dollars every day. Yet small, repeated expenses can become more costly than one large purchase. A person may believe they are only spending a little, while hundreds quietly disappear by the end of the month. A more intentional approach is to pause before paying for convenience and ask, am I paying for something I genuinely need, or am I paying because I did not plan ahead? This simple question can change spending habits. Preparing lunch the night before, carrying a reusable water bottle, making a shopping list, or combining errands into one trip can reduce many unnecessary costs without making life difficult. Avoiding convenient spending does not mean making every task harder. It means choosing convenience carefully, instead of buying it automatically. Some services save valuable time and reduce stress, so they may be worth the cost. But when convenience is used without limits, it can slowly weaken your savings. That financial progress is often lost through small, repeated choices rather than one dramatic mistake. By replacing just a few unnecessary convenience purchases with simple habits, you can keep more of your income every month. You may not feel a major difference in one day, but over time, these small decisions can create stronger savings, better control, and greater financial peace. 2. Trendy items that lose their value quickly. Trendy products are designed to create excitement and make people feel that they need to buy something immediately. A new clothing style becomes popular, a gadget starts appearing everywhere online, or a decorative item suddenly becomes the latest must-have. At first, the product may feel special and useful, but that excitement often disappears much faster than expected. The item remains, while the money spent on it is already gone. Japanese saving habits often place greater value on usefulness, quality, and long-term purpose than temporary popularity. Before buying something, many careful shoppers consider whether they will still use it after the trend has ended. They do not only ask, is this popular right now? They ask, will this still be useful to me next year? This simple change in thinking helps prevent emotional purchases that later become clutter. Trendy clothes are a common example. A person may buy an outfit because it looks fashionable on social media, even though it does not match the rest of their wardrobe. They wear it once or twice, then stop using it when the style changes. Over time, the closet becomes full, but the person still feels they have nothing suitable to wear. Choosing simple, comfortable, and versatile clothing often provides much better value because each item can be worn in several ways and for many years. The same problem appears with gadgets and small electronic products. New devices are often advertised as if they will completely improve daily life. However, many of them perform tasks that a person's existing phone, computer, or appliance can already handle. After the first few days of excitement, the new gadget may be placed in a drawer and forgotten. The purchase was not based on a real need, it was based on curiosity and fear of missing out. Decorations, beauty products, kitchen tools, and viral household items can create similar waste. When people repeatedly buy products because they are popular, they may end up with several objects serving the same purpose. Each purchase looks affordable on its own, but together, they consume a large part of the monthly budget. A useful way to avoid this habit is to create a waiting period before buying anything trendy. Instead of purchasing it immediately, wait several days or even a few weeks. During that time, ask whether the item solves a genuine problem, whether you already own something similar, and how often you will realistically use it. In many cases, the desire disappears once the excitement has passed. Avoiding trends does not mean never enjoying something new. It means refusing to let popularity make financial decisions for you. A trendy item can still be worth buying when it suits your lifestyle and will be used regularly. The important difference is buying with intention instead of reacting to advertising, influencers, or social pressure. That lasting value rarely comes from temporary excitement. By choosing products for their purpose, durability, and usefulness, you can spend less, reduce clutter, and feel more satisfied with what you already own. Saving money becomes easier when you stop chasing what is popular and start choosing what will truly serve your life. 3. Cheap products that must be replaced, again and again. Buying the cheapest product can feel like a smart decision, especially when you are trying to save money. At first, the lower price seems like an immediate victory. However, a cheap item is not always the most economical choice. When it breaks quickly, performs poorly, or needs constant replacement, the total cost can become much higher than buying one reliable product from the beginning. Many careful Japanese consumers focus on long-term value rather than the lowest possible price. They often look at how well an item is made, how frequently it will be used, and how many years it may last. The goal is not to buy expensive products simply because they are expensive. It is to choose something dependable that will continue doing its job without creating repeated costs. Imagine buying a low-quality kitchen knife because it costs less. It may become dull quickly, feel uncomfortable to use, or even break after a short time. You replace it once, then again, and eventually spend more than the cost of one durable knife. The same pattern can happen with shoes, clothing, tools, furniture, chargers, storage containers, and household appliances. Cheap clothing may lose its shape or color after only a few washes. Weak shoes may become uncomfortable or fall apart within months. Poorly made furniture can loosen, crack, or need repairs. Each replacement requires more money, but it also costs time and energy. You must search for another product, place another order, wait for delivery, and throw away the damaged item. This does not mean the most expensive option is always the best. A high price can sometimes come from branding, packaging, or popularity rather than quality. The smarter approach is to compare materials, construction, reviews, warranties, and how often you will actually use the product. For something you use every day, durability matters much more than it does for an item you may only use once or twice a year. A helpful question to ask before buying is, what will this cost me over its entire life? A cheap product that lasts 6 months may be more expensive than a slightly higher-priced item that lasts 5 years. Looking beyond the price tag helps you see the true cost of the purchase. It is also useful to take better care of the things you already own. Cleaning, maintaining, repairing, and storing products correctly can extend their useful life. Japanese ideas such as valuing craftsmanship and treating possessions with care encourage people to keep useful items working for as long as possible instead of replacing them unnecessarily. That real saving is not about paying the least today, it is about spending wisely so you do not have to pay again tomorrow. By choosing durable, practical products and caring for them properly, you can reduce waste, avoid repeated purchases, and keep more money in your savings over time. 4. Excess food that ends up in the trash. Food waste is one of the easiest ways to lose money without realizing it. Many people enter a supermarket without a clear plan, buy more than they need, and fill their cart with items that look appealing at the moment. A few days later, vegetables become soft, fruit starts to spoil, leftovers are forgotten, and unopened products reach their expiration dates. When food is thrown away, the money spent on it is thrown away too. Many Japanese households try to prevent this by shopping with greater care. Instead of buying large amounts simply because something is on sale, they consider how much food the household can realistically eat. A discounted product is not a real saving when half of it ends up in the trash. Buying smaller quantities may sometimes cost slightly more per item, but it can still save money overall when everything is actually used. Meal planning is one of the most practical ways to reduce this waste. Before shopping, decide what meals you are likely to prepare during the next few days. Then check the refrigerator, freezer, and cupboards to see what is already available. This prevents buying duplicate ingredients and helps older food get used before new food is opened. A simple shopping list also reduces impulse purchases and keeps the grocery bill under control. Portion size matters as well. Preparing too much food often leads to leftovers that no one wants to eat. Japanese meals are commonly associated with balanced portions and several small dishes rather than one oversized serving. This approach makes it easier to prepare the right amount, enjoy greater variety, and reduce the chance of wasting food. People can always take a little more when they are still hungry, but food left untouched on a plate is difficult to recover. Using ingredients completely can create even more savings. Vegetable stems, leftover rice, ripe fruit, and small amounts of meat can often become soups, stir-fries, fried rice, sauces, or lunch for the following day. Food that appears too small for one full meal can often be combined with other ingredients instead of being discarded. This habit encourages creativity while making each grocery purchase go further. Proper storage is equally important. Ingredients should be arranged so older products remain visible instead of being pushed to the back of the refrigerator. Placing items that need to be used soon near the front makes them easier to remember. Freezing bread, cooked meals, meat, and certain vegetables can also prevent food from spoiling before it is needed. Even small habits, such as sealing packages properly, can extend freshness. It is also helpful to understand the difference between a safety expiration date and a quality-related best before date. Some products may still be usable after their best before date when they have been stored correctly and show no signs of spoilage. However, food safety should always come first, and anything that smells, looks, or feels unsafe should not be consumed. That saving money on food is not only about searching for lower prices, it is about respecting what you buy and making sure it is actually used. By planning meals, purchasing realistic quantities, serving sensible portions, and turning leftovers into new dishes, you can reduce waste without reducing the quality of your meals. Every ingredient used fully means less money in the trash and more money left for your future. 5. Unnecessary home storage and organizing products. When a home begins to feel crowded, many people immediately think they need more storage. They buy extra boxes, baskets, drawer dividers, shelves, cabinets, and containers, hoping these products will make the space feel cleaner and more organized. For a short time, everything may look better. However, the real problem often remains hidden. There are simply too many belongings in the home. Many Japanese households take a different approach. Before buying another storage product, they first look carefully at what they already own. They ask which items are still useful, which ones are used regularly, and which belongings are only taking up space. Instead of creating more room for unnecessary things, they reduce the number of things that need to be stored. This saves money in several ways. Storage products may appear inexpensive when purchased individually, but the cost quickly grows when you buy several containers for the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, wardrobe, and living room. You may also need larger furniture to hold those containers. In some cases, people even move into bigger homes or rent additional storage space because they have accumulated more belongings than their current space can handle. Organizing unnecessary items does not make them more valuable. It only hides them more neatly. A box full of clothes you never wear is still unused clothing. A cabinet full of kitchen tools you rarely touch is still wasted space. A drawer divided perfectly into sections can still be filled with products you do not need. The home may look organized on the surface, but maintaining that system still requires time and effort. Every additional container creates another place that must be opened, cleaned, sorted, and managed. When too many storage systems are introduced, it can also become harder to remember where things are kept. People may forget what they already own and accidentally buy duplicates. A simple household item can end up in several different boxes, while the person purchases another one because the original cannot be found. A more practical method is to begin with one small area. Empty a drawer, shelf, or cupboard, and examine every item. Keep the things that are useful, necessary, or genuinely meaningful. Donate, recycle, sell, or responsibly discard what no longer serves a purpose. Once the unnecessary items are removed, you may discover that the storage you already have is more than enough. This does not mean storage products are always wasteful. A well-chosen container can protect important belongings, keep frequently used items accessible, and make daily routines easier. The key is to buy storage only after deciding what deserves to remain in the home. The container should support a real need instead of becoming a solution for uncontrolled clutter. It is also helpful to avoid buying organized products simply because they look attractive online. Matching baskets, decorative boxes, and stylish shelves can create the illusion of a peaceful home, but appearance alone does not solve overcrowding. A simpler space with fewer possessions is often easier to clean and maintain than a heavily organized space filled with too many things. That true organization begins with subtraction, not shopping. When you remove what you no longer use, you create space without purchasing anything. You also reduce cleaning, maintenance, and decision-making. By keeping fewer but more useful belongings, your home becomes calmer, easier to manage, and less expensive to maintain. 6. Status purchases made to impress other people. The most expensive spending habits are buying things mainly to influence how other people see us. A luxury car, designer clothing, the newest phone, or an expensive watch may create temporary attention, but that attention often fades quickly. The payment, however, can remain for months or even years. When people spend beyond their means to appear successful, they may look wealthy on the outside while feeling stressed and financially insecure inside. Japanese simplicity often encourages a quieter approach to money. Instead of proving success through possessions, many careful consumers focus on practicality, quality, and personal satisfaction. They choose items that fit their needs rather than products that only display status. This does not mean that Japanese people never buy expensive things. It means that a higher price should have a real purpose, such as better durability, comfort, craftsmanship, or long-term usefulness. Social pressure can make status spending difficult to recognize. A person may upgrade their phone because everyone around them has the latest model. They may buy branded clothing to feel accepted, replace a reliable car to appear more successful, or spend too much on celebrations because they fear being judged. These decisions are often guided by comparison rather than genuine need. The problem is that comparison never has a clear ending. There will always be someone with a newer car, a larger home, better clothes, or a more luxurious lifestyle. Trying to keep up can create an endless cycle of earning, spending, and upgrading. Even when income increases, savings may not improve because every financial gain is used to maintain a more expensive appearance. Status purchases can also lead to debt. Monthly payments make expensive items appear affordable, but several payments together can consume a large part of a person's income. Car financing, credit card balances, luxury subscriptions, and repeated upgrades can leave little money for emergencies or future goals. This creates pressure because one unexpected expense can quickly become a serious problem. A useful question before making a major purchase is, would I still want this if no one else could see it? If the answer is no, the purchase may be more about approval than usefulness. Waiting a few days before buying can also help separate real desire from social pressure. Once the excitement passes, it becomes easier to judge whether the item truly deserves your money. It is also important to remember that most people are not thinking about your possessions as much as you imagine. They may notice something briefly, but they soon return to their own lives and concerns. Sacrificing your savings to create a short impression rarely provides lasting satisfaction. Real wealth is quieter. It can mean having no unnecessary debt, being prepared for emergencies, sleeping without financial anxiety, and having the freedom to make choices without fear. A person with a simple lifestyle and strong savings may be far more secure than someone displaying expensive belongings while struggling with payments. That money should support your life, not your image. When you stop spending to impress others, you gain greater control over your income and your future. Choosing stability over status may not always attract attention, but it creates something much more valuable: peace, independence, and lasting financial freedom. 7. Monthly subscriptions. They rarely use. Monthly subscriptions can quietly become one of the most difficult expenses to notice. Unlike a large purchase, they do not always feel painful because the money leaves the account automatically in small amounts. A streaming service, fitness membership, premium app, cloud storage plan, delivery membership, or online course may seem affordable on its own. But when several subscriptions are active at the same time, they can consume a surprising amount of money every month. The biggest problem is that people often continue paying long after they stop using the service. They may subscribe during a free trial, forget to cancel, and then make payments for months without realizing it. Others keep memberships because they believe they might use them again someday. However, paying for something only because it may become useful in the future is very different from paying for something that is providing real value now. Careful Japanese savers often review recurring expenses regularly instead of allowing them to continue without attention. They check bank statements, credit card bills, and app store payments to see exactly what is being charged. This simple review can reveal subscriptions that have been forgotten, duplicated, or no longer match their lifestyle. Streaming services are a common example. A household may pay for several platforms but regularly watch only one or two. Instead of keeping every service active throughout the year, a more practical approach is to use one platform for a period of time, cancel it, and then switch to another when there is something worth watching. This provides entertainment without paying for multiple unused accounts at once. Fitness memberships can create the same problem. Joining a gym may feel motivating in the beginning, but if visits become rare, the membership turns into an expensive reminder rather than a useful service. Before continuing to pay, it is better to honestly compare the monthly cost with how often the facility is actually used. Walking, exercising at home, or choosing a less expensive option may provide more value. Apps and digital tools are especially easy to overlook because their payments may be very small. A few dollars for extra features does not appear serious, but several small charges can add up quickly. Sometimes people pay for 2 or 3 apps that perform nearly the same function. Reviewing them makes it easier to keep the most useful option and remove the rest. A helpful method is to list every subscription in one place, along with its monthly cost and renewal date. Then ask 3 simple questions. How often do I use this? Does it save me meaningful time or improve my life? Would I subscribe again today at the same price? If the answer is no, cancellation is usually the better choice. It is also wise to be careful with free trials. Before starting one, note the cancellation date or set a reminder several days before the first payment. Companies often depend on customers forgetting when the trial ends. A reminder protects you from paying for a service you never intended to keep. Not every subscription should be canceled. Some services may support your work, health, education, or family life and be worth every payment. The goal is not to remove everything. It is to make sure each recurring expense continues to earn its place in your budget. That automatic payments should never become automatic decisions. By reviewing subscriptions every few months and canceling anything that no longer provides real value, you can stop money from quietly disappearing. These small savings may seem minor at first, but over a year they can grow into a meaningful amount that supports your emergency fund, future plans, or financial freedom. Saving more money does not always require a bigger salary or a difficult lifestyle. Sometimes it begins with simply noticing what you are buying and why. These Japanese habits remind us that every unnecessary purchase takes away space, peace, and future freedom. Start by avoiding just one of these 7 expenses this week, then use the money for something that truly matters. Because real saving is not about feeling poor, it is about becoming more intentional, secure, and in control of your life.